4 different advocacy groups, some voting rights groups, some just general democracy advocacy groups, have now filed a federal complaint trying to get cyber ninjas and their CEO, Doug Logan, barred from ever receiving another federal contract forever. And here's the reason that these groups have banded together, and the Brennan Center for Justice is actually the ones who filed their complaint for them. It's not because you carried out the audit of the Arizona ballots in the 2020 election. It's not because you did that. It's because, 1, you failed to comply with the laws of the state. It's 2, because you failed to comply with a court order that resulted in you being fined $50,000 per day for failing to comply with the state laws. It's not number 3, or it is number 3, because you also did such a horrible job on the audit that you ended up costing the state of Arizona lots of money because you improperly accessed some of the voting equipment. You left it unattended. You left it vulnerable to the point where they actually had to throw it out. They had to buy all new equipment because you compromised it so badly during your audit. Now, again, this is just a complaint. Okay, nothing has been decided. Obviously, this is probably something that is going to take quite some time to work its way through. But again, all of those things I mentioned are things that I've talked about here in the past. Okay, Cyber Ninjas, I hold no grudges against you for carrying out the audit. Okay, you were paid to do it. You had no experience. You had no, there was no reason it should have been you doing it. But sure, you get paid to do it, you do it. But you failed to comply with open record laws in the state, even after a judge held you in contempt, fining you $50,000 per day because you failed to comply with those laws. Your CEO, Doug Logan, had been one of the people out there pushing the big lie, claiming that the state was stolen, that the 2020 election in general was stolen from Trump. So you got your CEO out there pushing baseless conspiracy theories, and that, of course, is something they mention in the complaint. And then, of course, the fact that you left all of this equipment vulnerable to the point where it had to be thrown away. It could not be used again because you were so incompetent with what you did. And the complaint says, because of this, we seek for them to be barred, both the company and the CEO, from ever receiving another government contract for the entirety of their existence. And here's where things get a little weird with Cyber Ninjas. I'm sure you'll remember months ago, we talked about the fact that CEO Doug Logan said he's basically disbanding Cyber Ninjas. They fired a bunch of their people, said the company's going away, but don't worry, Doug Logan told us, because he's just going to form a new company and then rehire most of the old people, and they're just going to keep doing the exact same things under a different name because he understood how damaged the Cyber Ninjas brand had become. Which, of course, is why the complaint is not just against Cyber Ninjas, but against Doug Logan himself. Because if you just ban Cyber Ninjas, then Doug Logan follows through on his plan, which apparently, according to reports, there's no real update on whether or not he actually has formed a new company or if Cyber Ninjas is still the way to go. But either way, barring the CEO from ever getting another contract is, of course, the much smarter route. Because then if he disbands Cyber Ninjas, creates, a new group, Cyber Warriors, you still can't have the contracts because it's still the same guy running the show. Hopefully, this works. Cyber Ninjas proved during this audit they can't handle this. They're incompetent. They can't follow the rule of law. They can't follow the orders of a federal judge. And therefore, they should not be allowed to do this anymore. And yeah, Cyber Ninjas actually has received federal contracts in the past outside of this Arizona ballot audit, which was a state contract, not a federal one. From 2016 to 2018, they had contracts, lost the word for a moment. They had contracts with the FCC. So, probably best to go ahead and just make sure they don't do that. But again, it's not in our hands. I applaud these groups for filing the complaints against Cyber Ninjas. This is definitely something that needs to happen, and hopefully those with the power to make it so will absolutely agree and prevent Doug Logan or Cyber Ninjas from ever getting another contract from the federal government of the United States. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.